Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Kim. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day here in the U.S. and around the world, a day to wear green and celebrate all things Irish. And fittingly, we begin on the coast of Ireland, where a wayward Arctic walrus is grabbing headlines for riding an iceberg like a raft for thousands of miles. Marine biologists believe the massive tusked mammal took a nap on an ice patch in Greenland, only to have his or her bed float off far enough into the Atlantic to get swept up into the Gulf Stream. When the walrus woke up, it was likely between the Arctic Circle and the Irish Isle of Valentia, where it's now come ashore to get some sun and some rest. A conservation group estimates it to be a young adult and at least 6.5 feet long. Arctic walruses aren't found so far south, and lots of people are hoping to get a glimpse. But wildlife experts are urging looky-loos to steer clear and let it regain its strength for the long journey back. Adults are rounding the vaccine bases, teens are in the batter's circle, and kids are now on deck. Yesterday, pharmaceutical company Moderna announced it's begun testing shots on those under age 12 to as young as 6 months. More than 6,700 kids will participate. A safety study on teens started at the end of last year. If the results are positive, federal health officials have said junior and senior high students could roll up their sleeves in the fall, followed by grammar school kids in early 2022. In other vaccine news, Mississippi is now the second state to open available doses to all adults. Michigan and Connecticut are expected to do the same on April 5th. According to the CDC, 39 million Americans are fully vaccinated, just under 12% of the population. It could be a revolutionary find. While dredging the Savannah River in Georgia to accommodate larger ships, the Army Corps of Engineers came across 3 cannons that may date back to the War of Independence 250 years ago. They also hauled up an anchor and hefty timber, but the origin of it all is as murky as the water. Historians have several theories, but one of the more likely versions comes from the Royal British Navy. It suspects the arms are from the famous warship HMS Rose, which came up the river during the American Revolution. Those involved in the find aren't releasing the exact location. The currents are dangerous, and they don't want treasure hunters risking life and limb to find what else might be there. But British and American experts say their relationship is a lot better than it was back in the mid-1700s, and they're happy to work together to decode this new mystery. File this under How Not to Win Homecoming Queen. Instead of working on a speech and doing good deeds for her classmates, a Pensacola, Florida teenager and her assistant principal mom took an unseemly shortcut. Together, they allegedly hacked student accounts and pulled digital levers in their favor. According to reports, 246 votes were cast by computers or phones belonging to the family. Multiple students also told investigators that 17-year-old Emily Rose had bragged to them about the scheme. Not much to brag about now. She's been expelled and both mom and daughter are facing charges. First, it was GameStop. Now, it's gorillas. The Reddit users who messed with Wall Street and made a fortune a few weeks ago are paying it forward by using their earnings to adopt endangered apes. According to CNN, the momentum started over the weekend when one trader inside the Reddit group Wall Street Bets symbolically adopted a baby gorilla from the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund. Wall Street Bets members are known as Apes, so he called it Apes Saving Apes. In the few days since, the fund has reportedly received at least $333,000 in donations through thousands of adoptions. The Grateful Ape organization tweeted their appreciation, said that the animals are a great investment, and that the money raised will go toward tracking, monitoring, and studying wild gorillas in their habitat. And that's it for KidNuz this morning. Now, our KidNuz quiz. Marine biologists believe a walrus fell asleep and floated on an iceberg from where to where? Greenland to Ireland, more than 1,000 miles. Moderna is now testing its vaccine on what age group? kids under 12 to as young as 6 months. How did a Florida teen win homecoming queen? She and her mom hacked student accounts and rigged the votes. What was found in Georgia's Savannah River? 3 cannons, an anchor, and some timber, all of which might date back to the American Revolution. In One for the Road, a few fun facts about today's holiday, courtesy of the History Channel. St. Patrick was actually born in Britain, not Ireland. He never banished snakes from the island because the island didn't have any to begin with. Red-headed leprechauns come from Celtic fairies, where they were often quite mischievous and cranky. The 3-leaf clover, known as a shamrock, symbolizes the arrival of spring. And the tradition of holding St. Patrick's Day parades began in America, even before the founding of the United States. Records show that the first known parade was held on March 17, 1601, in a colony that would later become St. Augustine, Florida. Before we go, it's time to shout out our teachers and their classrooms, starting with Jessica Cranston at Lamar Elementary in San Angelo, Texas, Mrs. Taylor at Batesville Primary in Batesville, Indiana, Miss Ruffing at Room 206 at East Taunton in Taunton, Massachusetts, to Alabama for Mrs. Bozeman at Conecuh County Junior High in Castleberry, and Mrs. Katie at Blount County Learning in Cleveland, and Mrs. Carlson at Twin Bluff in Red Wing, Minnesota. We've got a lot more teachers on our list. Thank you all for your patience. A reminder to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you back here for more Kid News tomorrow morning.